Every so often, a platform shows up with its marketing way ahead of its engine. Vantiel from Cortana Labs is one of the clearest examples I've reviewed. Polished website, confident pitch, deep lore, real reactivity, persistent memory. Play it, and what's actually underneath is a well-written custom GPT, not the finished system the marketing describes. That gap is the whole review, so let's get into it. Vantiel runs entirely inside ChatGPT. No separate app, no account beyond your own ChatGPT login, no backend running independently of the model. It's a custom GPT using whatever ChatGPT subscription you already have. That detail matters more than it sounds like it should, because the narration runs on your own frontier ChatGPT access instead of a cheap API model bolted onto some third-party site. The writing is noticeably better than most of what's sitting in the custom GPT store. Setting aside the engine question for a second, the world itself is genuinely well built. This isn't a thin skin over generic fantasy, there's real lore density here, the kind that reads like actual world building rather than the model improvising details on the spot, and combined with above average narration, the first sessions read well. If you play AI RPGs primarily for the writing and the world, Vantiel earns your attention early. And here's the honest part. Vantiel's marketing promises reactivity and persistent memory, language that implies a real system tracking state and consequences underneath the story. But what's actually running the game is ChatGPT itself, with no external memory layer or state tracking backhand I could find. The reactivity is just the model responding in the moment, same as any competent free-form ChatGPT session. The memory is the standard context window, with exactly the drift and forgetting that implies over a long campaign. Same failure mode I've broken down before in the Why LLMs Forget piece. The kind of thing engineered systems solve with hidden state logs and memory compression, which Vantiel doesn't currently have. To be clear, none of that makes it a bad session, it makes it a custom GPT with excellent presentation and a genuinely good world dressed in language that describes a more finished product than what's actually running. It's not a scam, it's not empty, it's just ahead of itself in how it talks about what it is. One quick thing though, if you go looking for this yourself, there's a completely different custom GPT called Vantiel 2 from a different creator that I've reviewed separately as part of his Isekai RPG. No connection between the two that I could find, just a name and coincidence, but worth knowing before you end up playing the wrong Vantiel. Play Vantiel if you want a well-written, well-world-built ChatGPT session and you're not expecting a persistent memory engine to hold a long campaign together on its own. The lore and narration are genuinely worth a free ChatGPT session, and skip it for now if what actually drew you in was the promise of reactivity and memory as real mechanical features. That promise isn't delivered yet, and the long campaign will drift the same way any unmanaged ChatGPT session does. Bottom line, a genuinely good world and above average narration, marketed like a finished engine it hasn't built yet. Enjoyable if you can see past the pitch, or frustrating if you take the pitch at face value. My Vantiel rating is 3.5 out of 5. If you want the full written review, it's linked down below with more on the marketing versus engine gap and how it compares to other ChatGPT RPGs I've covered. If Cortana Labs ever actually builds the system their site describes, this one's worth revisiting. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.